Today's first look. Whether you're driving, you're doing chores, or maybe you're just relaxing around the house, podcasts have exploded in popularity really over the past decade. And I'll admit, it seems like almost everyone has one these days. And now might be a perfect time to mention that you can find the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on almost all podcast platforms, including Apple and Spotify. It's free to listen. Shameless plug. But a new store, and I was telling Betsy earlier, why didn't I think of this? A new store promises to be a one-stop shop for everything pod, from beginner to pro.
Yeah, that's right. Podpopuli is opening its newest Northeast Ohio location at Legacy Village in Lyndhurst. And today is the grand opening. And that just so happens to be where we find our Stephanie Haney with a first look for this afternoon. Hey, Steph, that looks like a pretty swanky spot.
Oh, you know it is. And you know what, Jay? I've heard of that Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. You can find that at the same place you can find Ohio Has Issues, actually, which is a good one to listen to.
She did it. That's a girl. That's a girl.
Seamless
and
plug.
You know that we... That's right, completely. We are here at Podpopuli, the brand new podcast studio in Legacy Village. If you take a look over here at this artwork, you see just a small fraction of the podcast creators that they have here. And I think that we are just going to go over here and crash a podcast party that's happening right now. So we just so happen to be here during the taping of the Begging for Fame podcast. We've got Riley and Caitlin here. Riley, I'll ask you first. Tell us about the Begging for Fame podcast. What's it all about?
So me and Caitlin have been friends for about 10 years now, and we lived together for a few years. We wanted to start something for fun, for our own entertainment, and for other people's entertainment. So that's why we originally started Begging for Fame. And we wanted to get famous as well.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Okay, so Caitlin, tell me, what was your most recent episode about?
So basically each episode, we kind of just talk about what's going on in our lives, funny stories from college. We have a few segments, hot or not. We usually recommend some things. So they're just like silly, fun episodes.
Well, I've been watching it happening here behind the scenes, and it sounds like a great time. So Riley, I'll go back to you now. You're doing this here at Podpopuli in Legacy Village. How did you find Podpopuli?
I believe we actually found them from a Google search. We were looking for someone to keep us accountable when we started the podcast, and they do just that. They do all the recording, editing, putting everything out to Spotify, Apple Music, and all those things. So it's been amazing. They do pretty much everything for you, so all you have to do is come here and record.
Speaking of doing everything for you, it really is a full-service studio. Caitlin, tell me about your podcast art.
Yeah, so this podcast art was designed by Podpopuli. We really had no idea what we wanted to do for our art, so we just sent in a picture of ourselves, and they did all the editing. They cartooned it. We kind of like gave them a rough draft of what we wanted, like some disco balls and colors, but they pretty much handled it from there.
Very quickly, tell me, how often do your episodes come out?
They come out once a week, every Tuesday.
All right, you can find that on every podcast platform, along with many of the podcasts that are produced here at Podpopuli. And I will say this, Jay and Betsy, I thought this was a very interesting fact. 67% of the podcasts that are produced here are hosted by women. So they are doing their part to help get women's voices out there. And men too, Jay. But I did think that was interesting and worth noting.
It is. You know, I think the name's cool, Podpopuli, but I think the name of their podcast would be a perfect name for the store.
Yeah.
Begging for Fame.
Right.
I mean, because really, this gives anybody the opportunity to put something out there, and who knows what's going to stick these days.
Right. It's audio, social media.
That's exactly right. So who knows? We might have the next superstars in that space.
The slogan, podcasts for the people, that's the slogan. So they really are making it accessible so people can get out there and get that fame here in Northeast Ohio. Go get it.
Do we know what the fee is to do this? Is it a one-time fee, or is if you do it once a week, you have to pay each time you do it? How does that work?
So they have different packages available, Jay and Betsy. You can find those all on the Podpopuli website. So the packaging and the pricing changes as you get to, if you buy a bigger package, it's a little bit different.
Okay, very good.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
Steph.
Thank you.